don't know about you guys, but we're talking about microwave.
Yep.
Dan Kohler is going to break this down for us. I will never forget, and I know you're of the generation, when the microwave came out, and I witnessed, for the first time ever, a hot dog cook in 30 seconds.
Wow.
Incredible.
I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, how is this happening, right?
Or popcorn in a bag. What is happening? My mind is blown.
In front of me in this little picture window.
I mean, truth be told, the microwave is really incredible technology, and it's ubiquitous around the country now. Like, you can't even picture an American kitchen without a microwave, can you?
Yeah.
I want to know. Do I have to have one? Because I'm trying.
You don't have one?
I'm redoing my kitchen. I'm trying to decide.
Well, you will know after this segment.
You'll be able to make up your mind at the end of this.
So how do they differ from conventional ovens?
Yeah, this is a great place to start because I think we need to describe how heat works first. In a conventional oven, we're working with a heat property called conduction. So you light either a gas pilot or an electrical heating element down there, and that thing warms up with electricity. And then that heats all of the air inside the oven. And then the air heats whatever you're baking. And that's why when you're baking a cake, which I'm sure you know as a baker, the temperature is really important because you can have an issue where you burn the outside before the center is even cooked, right?
Correct.
Absolutely. That's disastrous.
Yes.
Right.
So with conduction, we're really talking about heat from the outside in.
Okay.
All right.
But a microwave,
Yeah.
completely different.
From the inside out?
You know, sometimes they say a microwave cooks from the inside out, and that's a little bit misleading, but it helps you figure out what's happening here. Essentially, what you've got, you run electricity through a giant magnet, which is what I've got right here. We pulled this out of a microwave earlier today. When you run electricity through a magnet, you get something called an electromagnetic current. Now, that electromagnetic current then moves through this device, which is called a magnetron. A magnetron takes an electromagnetic current and it changes it into radio waves. The same thing that powers the radio in your car or your cell phone. These radio waves are what are bouncing around inside your microwave, and that's why a microwave has a shiny metal interior. So those radio waves bounce all around and they never escape.
Okay, now one question.
Yeah.
That sounds very scientific to me, but it also can sound a little bit dangerous. There's been some controversy, or if Sophie were here, I'd say controversy.
You definitely would if you were here.
What a controversy, and that's what she would say. And Sophie's controversy would be, does Dan do microwaves then cause cancer?
Well, to be totally honest about this, if you are concerned about the electromagnetic current that's escaping from a microwave, you need to look no further than your cell phone to be confirmed that it's actually safe. All of us hold a cell phone to our head every day, right?
24/7.
24/7. In fact, these days. So actually, the electromagnetic waves that are used in a cell phone are nearly identical to a microwave. So if you're afraid of using a microwave, but you use a cell phone every day, you need to feel assured that this is a safe piece of equipment.
Right.
Wow.
But you can't take your phone and put it on top of a bag of popcorn and pop it.
No.
So then
Nor
how
can
do-
you make a phone call with your microwave.
You could try.
But how does it actually cook the
Right.
food or whatever's
So
in there?
what's interesting here is we're not talking about heat. We're talking about energy. So these radio waves, Debbie, can you give me a good wave here? There we
Well,
go.
my arm
I like
kind
this. I like
of,
this.
it hurts from
So-
lifting.
So now a radio wave does that, and water molecules look like this. Now, one end of a water molecule is positive, and one end of a water molecule is negative. I'll take over from you.
Oh, thank you.
Now, as those radio waves cycle through, the water molecule is attracted to one half of it, and it keeps turning like this. Now, imagine this sped up thousands and thousands of times. What you have essentially is a water molecule that's jiggling back and forth and back and
Now
forth.
we're back to jiggling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It all comes back to the jiggle. So when water molecules vibrate, they heat everything up around it, right? We've had this, it's, friction, right?
Yeah.
So radio waves cause these water molecules to vibrate very quickly, and consequently you have hot food. But there's no heat in there, right? You can grab the plate out and your hands don't burn.
But I want to go. I learned this lesson and it scared me to death. I actually had a hard-boiled egg. I took it out of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to warm it up a little bit. I put it in for less than 30 seconds, and it was like a bomb
Right.
went off.
So let's talk about that. I was saying that the water molecules are heating up very quickly. We've
Yeah.
got a shot of this. When you heat up something that's got a very high liquid content,
Yeah.
what happens with superheated water is actually it's water that
See?
hasn't had a chance to release any of its heat while it's boiling. When we boil water on the stove, there's some hot spots between the top of the stove and the pan. And that allows bubbles to accumulate. Those bubbles fill with steam, and then it boils. But superheated water is water that hasn't had a chance to release any of its heat as it's gradually getting to boiling temperature, which is 212 degrees. So that water is actually above 212 degrees. And
But not boiling.
It's not boiling
So
yet.
how do you avoid that from happening when you pull it out of the
If you want to
microwave?
avoid that, yes. Now, most of the time, this isn't going to happen to you
Yeah.
at home. It's really a rare occurrence. But if you want to be extra safe, after the microwave has dinged, just let it sit for a couple of seconds before you pull that water out, because it can erupt if it's shaken or jostled at all. That gives those bubbles a second to accumulate instantly.
Okay.
Science.
Why?
Science.
I know.
I know. Do you
I
love
don't
this?
understand this.
I do.
I can't put aluminum foil inside and cook, but yet
No.
the whole thing inside is metal and the tray it's spinning on is metal.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's talk about this. There are certain kinds of metal that are okay in a microwave, but I want to show you. I did an experiment at home, and this is not to be replicated at home for you guys.
Yeah.
I want to show you actually what happens when you put the wrong kind of
Look at
metal
this.
in a microwave. So I've got a piece of steel wool here, and I'm just running it through with a chopstick. Now, steel wool, I'm actually suspending that in a glass jar because I want to catch what's happening. Now, the electromagnetic waves, radio waves, are going to go through that steel wool. And you'll see they jump from strand to strand. They create sparks. Now those sparks ignite, and suddenly we have what's called a plasma flare. And I've actually captured that plasma flare.
you believe that?
Plasma is actually lightning. Essentially, you can see it right here in slow-mo. I have created.
Does that microwave still work now?
Yeah, because I captured it in the jar. So this is an extreme example of why you don't put metal in a microwave. It can ignite.
But if you didn't have it in the jar and it would explode the microwave, correct?
Well, what would have happened is we would have had a giant scorch mark on the inside of the microwave. And actually, even with that jar, I had to be very careful to stop after a couple of seconds because that extreme heat can shatter that jar inside the microwave. So again, this is not to be done at home. I just wanted to illustrate for you what happens. Since we all know we shouldn't put some metal in there, I want to show you what actually happens.
You're so smart, Dan. You are so smart. For more details, the details on this and just all kinds of science stuff, check out Dan's website.
We're going to come back and spend time with gold medal soccer star Brandy Chastain. She's talking about a very serious medical condition she's experiencing with her son.